Geralt?
Well, I'll be a true albino.
Who do you favor, milady?
Can't decide between the black stallion and the grey mare. Keep going back and forth, back and forth. Sorry, don't believe we've been introduced.
I'm Geralt.
Geralt! That Geralt! The one Dandelion's rescued time and time again.
Wouldn't be here if not for Dandelion.
Told me all about your adventures. How he'd ready you for battle with his songs. How he tamed the Karen by playing his lute.
I meant that literally. Dandelion's why I'm here. Came to ask you about him. Know where he might be?
No. Sadly, I haven't got a clue. We've not seen each other in ages. Ever since I became Lady Latard, it's been nothing but balls, banquets, and other such... congregations. Awful tiring, all this. But... or maybe his sister could help you. Such a nice girl.
I'm under the impression Dandelion thinks you still serve the Lavalettes.
Oh, that's because I never told him I stopped. Didn't want him to treat me any different.
And your husband has nothing against it? Your old friendship?
Course not. Sweetiekins couldn't be happier that Dandelion's raising me sophistication.
Any chance you remember your last conversation with Dandelion?
Course. He came to borrow some coin for a barge.
What? Why do you need a barge?
To take me on a romantic cruise of the canals by the light of the moon. Said there'd be strawberries and that wine with the bubbles, and he'd sing me arias. But I've not seen him since.
You do realize Dandelion doesn't have a sister?
Sure he does. Saw him himself. Funny, she don't look like him at all. Blonde, for starters. Maybe they've different fathers.
Different mothers, too.
Maybe. But you could see he cares for her, looks after her. The way he carried her packages and...
Know where I can find her, Dandelion's sister?
I know. Whenever I ask Dandelion when we visit her, he'd grow all quiet and then change the subject.
Thanks, Molly.
Wait, before you go, I've got a request. Dandelion told me once he'd show me his etchings, but he never did. I'd so like to see them.
Won't be too hard to convince him. He loves showing off those etchings to anyone he can.
Oh, that's wonderful! Thanks, and good luck to you on your search.
Ah, Geralt, there you are. Shall we return together?
Gladly. It's a long way to Novigrad. Road ought to seem shorter with some company.
I'd say the same. Well then, let's go. And here we are. Thank you for your company.
Likewise. See ya.
Ah, Geralt.
big changes afoot in the...
You've no notion? The Emperor summoned.
You know a lot.
I must. I am my father.
What's your father got to do with it?
He is close to the Emperor. And knows the opposition. Knows the... But, as is known, an Empress need...
Farewell.
Heard the patrol's report.
I traced the pansy all the way to the garden.
What did you catch, civilized?
What do you want?
Want to see Rosa of Atra?
Oh, mate, if you only knew what I want. Miss Rosa don't see just anybody.
I'm Geralt of Rivia, a witcher.
Soon as Miss Rosa turns into a striker, I'm sure her papa will send for you. But she's not showing any symptoms yet, so I venture you're not needed. On your way now.
And kids.
What do you want?
Rosa of Atra's expecting me. Supposed to give her lessons in swordplay.
Come with me. Miss Rosa awaits. Won't you realise what you've got yourself into?
Hope so too.
Miss Rosa's got a downright beastly temper. Shows no mercy. Grab a wooden one. And take care not to hurt the little miss. Or you'll earn the ambassador's ire. Oh! Follow me.
You're my new instructor. Well, Papa clearly went out of his way this time. Wood, to start with. I must know your worth. Why bother with two swords when you can barely handle one?
Come on, come closer.
Stop flaunting and fight! Damn it! Well fought. You're much better than the last one.
I'm not actually your swordplay instructor.
Really? Then who are you? And how on earth did you get in?
I'm a witcher. I'm looking
A witcher? That's splendid. I always wanted to meet a witcher. This is so exciting.
incredibly. But we ought to discuss that another time. Came to ask about your rhetoric tutor, Dandelion.
Rhetoric tutor? Good one. That is why Papa hired him, but not at all what the bard had in mind. He mostly played his lute and sang for us. I believe he thought he was wooing.
Mean he wasn't? But you had some sort of relationship.
If you call him chasing after me a relationship. Even so, there was nothing between us. Seems my sisters had a bit of fun at our expense. But enough chatter. Stand and fight. I demand a rematch.
Pathetic.
Why bother with two swords when you can barely handle one? Drat it! You're quick!
Come on.
Damn it! Well, if you're not an instructor, you should certainly be one. Fancy giving me a few private lessons?
Sorry, gotta say no. Schedule's packed just now.
As you wish. What are you two lovebirds whispering about? You asked about my relationship with Dandelion? Well, here's the mix-up's mastermind. Edna var Atra, the greatest mischief maker north or south of the Yaruga.
Wait a minute. Mean to say Dandelion mixed you two up?
On occasion, yes. But then Rosa would quickly set him straight. If you'd shut your catty mouth for a moment, dear little sister, I could explain. Edna sent Dandelion some love letters. She signed my name. Conceited as he is, naturally he fell for it. I was left to repel the aging bard's advances. Rosa, I had the best of intentions, you know that. I felt you needed help taking the first step. You blushed every time he sang a ballad. He'll next sing at your funeral if you don't stop it right now.
Calm down, ladies. No poet's worth two sisters nipping at each other's throats.
Especially not this one.
Listen, I just want to know one thing. Either of you seen Dandelion lately?
Edna might have. I certainly have not. My dear sister, I would never spend time alone with a man for whom you burn with a secret passion. Burn with passion? For one who incessantly praises another woman's talents? Afraid I've more sense than that.
Dandelion act any different lately? Notice anything strange?
Strange? Not really. It's no use, Geralt. She's so enamored. Edna! What? You needn't pretend he followed
Rhetoric lessons in a cemetery. Unusual even for Dandelion.
We set out to visit the graves of celebrated Oxenford professors. He ended up quizzing us about Margrave Henkel.
Who?
Eccentric old coot. Died recently. He'd apparently been an important...
Bet sophisticated young ladies like you know a bunch about politics.
We've picked up a few things. What would you like to know?
Emperor continuing to push north. Courtiers must be ecstatic.
His confidants must be. But Papa says that's not likely to last much longer.
Why not?
Papa says the war's disrupting trade, and people are tired of
Wonder how the wars go.
Papa says much depends on Radovid, and on who captures Novigrad.
What's Novigrad got to do with it?
Oh, even children know Novigrad's home to the world's largest fleet. And they say the city's treasury's bursting with enough to equip 2 armies.
Changing subjects. Who'd Dandelion sing about? Know anything about her?
I believe she's a poetess, or trabaritz. Very skilled and exceptionally talented, of course.
This woman. Not a local, right?
I seem to remember him praising her melodious Kaviri accent. Makes sense. He referred to her as Calonetta a few times. Bizarre names are common.
Gotta ask Zoltan about this, Been a pleasure.
Exceedingly nice. Well, can I expect any more lessons in future?
Awfully convincing, miss. Wonder where you learned it. Name the time and place.
How's here tomorrow? Same time as today.
See you then.
See you, Master Witcher. Nice wicks.
Shut off!
Run, Roach.
I've had enough. Where are you keeping him, Bobby? Monsieur Sultan, you old bum. What's this?
Nose is too small.
Ah, you're back. You met Poppy?
Nice bird, but to the matter at hand.
So, how'd you do? Learn much?
Tell me what you've got first.
A few bruises and a torn doublet. Otherwise, no much a note. He wasn't staying with any of them.
Let's hear him.
You know how he wooed a lass studying natural history? You know where he went with the cook from the Passiflora? The Oxenford knob made us stare for hours as labourers crushed boulders into cobblestones. I don't know about human women, but that would bore a dwarven lass to tears.
Maybe.
Sounds like you found
Women on my list hadn't seen Dandelion in a while. All claimed he had been acting strange. Also mentioned. Thing is, Mystery Woman wasn't on my list.
What's she supposedly like, this lass?
Blonde, from Kovir. A Trober, it's apparent.
That makes it... It's Priscilla. Aye. Must be her.
Who's this Priscilla?
A Troberitz, like you said. Quite popular of late. Picture Dandelion with a pair of tits and you've got the general idea.
Interesting image. So how'd Dandelion handle meeting his female double?
I think he fell in love.
What can I say?
She's his match. Oh, the laddie's head's on fire.
All right.
Priscilla works with a mummers troupe. Reynard and the Foxen.
Mean we've been sentenced to an evening of poetry?
Must you always?
Zoltan.
Get her.
Saw a burning pyre.
Yes, Felicia Corey, a sorceress that was. The crowd came, and Doppler, crafty wee bugger who'd spent. It was Caleb Menge who exposed him.
Met that Doppler years ago, just after he'd assumed Chappelle's identity and form.
Ah, well, that's all changed now.
Novigrad doesn't seem...
I was keen on starting my own enter. I'd like to blame it on the war or human threat, rather not dwell on it.
Nice talking to you.
I've had enough of living.
see any new waitresses?
All worth seeing.
Like someone says from the map. Take a bite.
Her lad deals fist taking.
Someone to show them around.
You read my mind.
A reaper's come for me.